now?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes.
Like a rock and roll chick.
That's pretty loud.
How are
Hello,
you,
Miss
Marissa? I
Marissa.
miss you.
Oh, hi. How are you? I'm okay, considering.
Grabe.
Thank you for doing this. This is live now already, so we do a rolling
Oh,
start
we're
now.
live. Okay.
We're already
We're,
live.
we're live.
Yeah. Isn't
Hello,
that
live world. Yeah,
oh,
well,
how many
hello.
interviews have you done over the years? So I'm when I
Years?
Google when I Google Rage Band Philippines, I get 32 years of Rage. Is that accurate? 32
32
years na
what?
ba?
You're frozen.
Years of Rage. When I Google Rage Band Philippines, it says 32 years of Rage. That means you guys have been around for 32 years. Oh, she's cutting out. Okay, I'm going
Ay,
to...
mahinang internet niya.
Oh, baka this isn't doable.
Oh, we
Sayang.
need to reschedule.
Yeah, either reschedule
Okay,
or...
there.
Hi there. She's
Here we
there.
go. Boom! Gosh, I panicked for a
Wow,
second.
what is your just had a burp in the internet?
Am
Miss
I a
Marissa?
what? A perp?
Did it burp? Did it burp in the
Oh,
internet?
a burp.
Burp. Internet burp, that's what we call it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's more of like a big throw up.
You know what, James? Marissa is also an IT person.
Are you a programmer?
No, it's been
QA?
years ago. Thank you, Gabby, for mentioning that. But my skills, because of the, how fast time flies, and I have to upgrade and upgrade. I haven't upgraded because I've concentrated on music. So
Oh, there goes
Were
it.
you what were you in the IT world before?
mostly what we had was well, in the beginning, the internet was first starting. I was the systems administrator for my work in San Francisco, where it was an ad agency, a PR firm, and then we were helping federations, nonprofit federations, with their campaign with the United Way. It says your internet connection is unstable. It's like my mind
That's you.
right
That's
now.
you.
That's me. Don't believe them. No. But yeah, so that was my entry into the IT world. I did go to school at Heald Business College in San Francisco, so
Wow.
and it transitioned into that, and then had a foray on creating websites, which at that time in the 90s, like mid 90s, that was like the new thing, right? Everybody had to code, and I learned HTML programming by myself. It was self-taught with a few books and stuff. Yeah.
Have you made a website already? Did you make websites before?
Everything that Rage produces, or what you see, is mostly my production.
You.
Yes, I did. I've
Good.
created a lot of websites before, but mostly during my job in the U.S.
For those listening who don't know, Miss Marissa is part of the Rage band from, according to Google, since the 80s.
Yes, I was one of the original members of the band. So yeah, 1982, 83, right? Mid college.
So how do you
Right
how
on.
do you how do you get the Rage band is it in the Philippines? Did it start in the Philippines?
Yeah, the name Rage was given to the band by Ate Jacinto, which is our manager. So we were a bunch of how many musicians? So 8 musicians that he chose and put together to form this.
He handpicked, or were there
Rage
auditions?
band, yeah. Handpicked.
Okay.
We all auditioned. We all auditioned, and we were chosen actually by. See, Ate Jacinto was the one who put the circus band together. He was the one who formed it and managed it. So, what is the circus band? They produced artists like Basil Valdez, Silly Moreno, Pat Castillo.
These are huge artists during the 80s.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
And
and
Rage was
beyond.
huge as well.
And beyond. I mean,
And
their
beyond. Until now. Yeah.
their catalog has spanned decades.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah, but I don't belong to that decade. Belong to-
And also just to give you an idea,
you were 5 when that started.
I was
just to
no, well, not really.
and
Just be
just to give
honest.
them an idea how huge Rage was back then. I was still in Bacolod,
Mm,
and uh, I used to watch them in shows in ABS
mm-hmm.
and GMA. They were like regulars of Penthouse Live,
Yeah, Penthouse Live. Well,
Marnie
on
Rivera,
TV.
Yeah.
and I actually saw Marissa in Ryan Musikahan, and
Was that the first time?
I don't remember, but I've seen Rage Band and you perform in TV
Yeah.
so many times, and
Mm.
I also watched your concert. They used to fill huge arenas or the con. Well, back then, what was the like folk arts theater?
No, we never. Well, we performed once in Folk Arts Theater. It
Uh huh.
was for Christmas. It was like this laser show, a rock
Yes,
band
yes.
with like lots of laser show. Laser was just beginning at that time. That was like
Mm.
production. But when we started, that was like in 1982. Actually, Eddie Boy Escudero, he's a photographer, right? He's also the manager of Something Special, another 80s band, and he has been he has been doing these throwback pictures of me seeing myself as like a 19-year-old kid. It's like surreal. It's surreal, but it's fun
Oh,
going back. Yeah.
gosh, I have so many questions. Like, how do you, because you said you grew up in you studied in the US. So how do you study in the US, then now be in a band at 6 years old? You were the Michael Jackson of the Rage Band.
No, no, not me. Um, how
How
did
do
I
you get from
study?
there to here? Yeah,
Well,
from the
you
US to
know,
the Philippines.
well, for I lived here most of the time, like when Rage was, big in the 80s. I was here. I lived here. But see, my family migrated to the U.S. and I couldn't really join them right away. So I was like shuttling back and forth. And then finally, I just had to follow because I was going to turn 21. So I moved, and then I found I had to finish all my commitments here, so I came back. And then finally, we had this big dream, right? The band of trying to make it in Hollywood. Uh, the title of our last show was Hollywood or Bust. It was like it's more of a statement saying it wasn't really a challenge, but it was more of a statement saying, um, this is our commitment, this is our drive, we're doing everything that we can to get there and promote Filipino music and trying to make it big in the US.
What songs were you playing in the US? Were you playing Filipino songs, American songs, your original content, or
Original composition.
covers?
Yeah. Well, we first began as a cover band. Well, majority of our music was cover band, as was, you know, all the bands. Well, not all, but a majority of the commercial bands were doing at the time. And so we were a popular pop rock group, and then eventually we transitioned making our own compositions, and then it was getting a lot of airplay on radio stations, a lot of requests. Sad to say, we were never really granted the opportunity to create an album. So these are
Yeah.
all the songs that you may hear on the radio stations were more of our demos that we presented to promote our shows. So
But if your songs are playing on the radio, your original songs are playing on the radio, that means you are probably popular enough. I mean, to be worth that it was worth creating an album. I'm surprised no one like sponsored or like signed you up.
it was there were a lot of people who but the radio, the big um, record companies at that time. See, this was the it was coming into the really strong OPM type thing, and since most of our compositions were in English, um, they thought that it was too Western. You see,
Oh.
but our goal was really to go to the States and penetrate over there and communicate in a language that most of the world would understand.
You were
So,
too ahead of your
you
time.
know, some people have said that, yes.
And
Yeah.
Just to I've heard the original songs of Rage, and I really feel I felt bad or because I feel bad because those
Thanks,
no I feel
Gab.
bad because
You felt bad.
it should have been out there. It should have been appreciated by the public,
Well,
and
well,
you know.
in a way it was, and we did have a lot of
Mm.
following, and all the songs have touched a lot of people's hearts, and they grew up with these songs. And in fact, some radio stations still play it in their what do you call that? The throwback, golden, throwback portion,
Flashback Friday.
flashback Friday, stuff like that. But but the thing is that the fans or the people who have supported Rage through the years are still in touch with me when they see or they on the internet. See, everything's on the internet now, right? So when they come across all these old songs or videos, and they manage to find me, and not only me, probably Juan Miguel as well. Um, Juan Miguel Salvador was part of the Rage band, and he was my songwriting partner, and as well as David Lava. David Lava, who was our guitarist at the time. We started out with 8 people, dwindled all the way down 1988, but down to 3. The 3 members of
that was
core.
and you were one of
Yeah,
the 3.
me, Juan Miguel, and David. We were the core of the original members of the Rage. So yeah, those 3. David transitioned into a band named Big Thing in the 90s.
Randy Santiago's Big Thing. Is that correct?
Right. Randy Santiago's group, and of course, Juan Miguel went solo, and he's had a very successful career also as a jingle songwriter and award-winning at that. So, yeah.
What's your best song that you want to be remembered by for Rage?
Well, a lot of people remember this song that I wrote. It's called "Believe Me." But yeah, believe me, a lot of people request that, and a lot of feedback from the people who see it became number 1 in this radio station called Kiss FM, 101.1 Kiss FM, and then various songs actually through through listener phone in. They would request these songs. People who would come to the concerts and stuff, they would call the radio station and they would play it. And through their, I don't know, polls, it became number 1. The other one is Whiplash.
Organic polls, I think.
Organic. Yeah,
Organic.
that's a good word. That's a good word to use. Organic,
Yeah.
because these are the audiences, and the fans. Thank you very much, fans. We love you.
Believe me. I said,
Yeah.
I love that song.
Oh, here
Yeah.
it is. Believe me,
That was-
Rage Band. You have 18,000 views already.
Wow.
Plus, just for the lyric video, and
Yeah.
just that
The-
one, yeah.
Yeah. I think the one that's you're going to see on YouTube, the one with me singing in a on stage.
I think that one is 5.4 thousand. Isn't that unfair? Like the lyric video. No, the
That's the
video you make.
original. Yeah, that's
The-
the original mix.
The video you make, and then compared to the lyric video has like 4 times as many views as the original. Isn't that
Well,
like?
I'll tell you
How do you
why.
feel about that?
I am not visually appealing.
No.
The thing is that, you know, when you this second regeneration, if we call it, that was in 2000. See, there was the whole decade where I was in not present in the US. So you know how time goes, you people either have this image of you stuck in their heads,
Mm-hmm.
or or they kind of like forget, right?
Yes.
So you know, more artists come, newer artists come, and stuff like that. So you get kind of like shoved into an archive. That's what happened to me. No, but and the lyric video, I think, was uploaded earlier than
Oh,
the
you're
visual.
right. Right.
Yeah,
Your the lyric is 11 years ago, and yours is only 6 years ago.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so maybe it has more time. So actually, yours might be
Right.
will catch up over time.
Sure.
Now, regarding bands, how does that work? Like, does one person own the name Rage Band? Does anyone own the name Rage Band? Is it a corporation that you all own the name?
Ate Jacinto originally registered that, so he owned it. And then when I had, approached him in 2000, and then I said, well, we're going to reform the band. May I use the name? And then yes, he said yes, and so I registered it.
Okay, so you own the name now. So you own Rage Band.
Yeah. Well,
And there you
yay!
are.
But you know, the funny thing is that there's another internationally we cannot be called Rage Band because of course there's a heavy metal band from Germany called the Rage Band.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
know who they are.
you know, do your research,
I'm just
Mr.
kidding.
JK.
Just
Jake.
joking. Just joking. So when you were in the U.S. trying to make it to Hollywood, then you couldn't go under the name Rage Band, according because you said they were
Oh,
international already. What
yeah.
was your name?
We were going in as songwriters. Actually, I when in the 90s I registered, we were pitching songs. So I was part of the Northern California Songwriters Association,
Mm.
and that organization, what they do is they meet in like certain clubs, and then they have open mic. And so what all these top producers, or see, it's a songwriters association, so they get producers, record executives, A&R people. They would come sit, and then they would grab a tape pa noon, they would grab a tape and then listen to it live, and then they would critique, okay, your all these songwriters were pitching. And so if they like your song, they keep it, and then if they don't like it, they just return it to you. And fortunately, that one, believe me, and another one is Shy Eyes, which they really
I see it.
liked.
Yeah.
Shy Eyes, Believe Me, and Whiplash. Those three songs were actually picked up by he was a producer. He produced for Robbie Neville, and I think also part of what's her name, Paula Abdul, and all these other artists. He was a producer for them, and he picked up those three songs, and he was kind of like reworking that with me. Okay,
So
so I went to LA. Yeah.
does it mean you sold? But I mean, these songs are still owned by you, or
No.
did you sell? Does it mean sold already, or
Yeah, yeah.
what does that mean?
No. They were not. They were working. He was working on it with me, and we were already making plans on how to. So the dream that we had originally in 1988, right? The whole purpose of our moving to the U.S. Actually, Juan Miguel went, and then David was waiting for that opportunity. But the whole reason why we were there was to break into the market, right? So it was almost going to be a reality. However, the music changed at that time. It
Mm.
went heavily into hip hop. And so,
Mm,
of
okay.
course, because times have changed again. So we were again put in the archive.
So what did
Yeah,
they?
but
So
that
since okay, yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
Marissa.
that didn't stop us. So when Miguel and I were also like, we had a band, we would play with other Filipinos there, special shows, for parties and stuff like that. Uh, and then yeah, and I was with the band California Suites for a long time. Night shift for a very long time until my office had to move me to Washington D.C. So I had to open another an office there. So then I had to stop those activities.
Were these cover bands, Marissa?
Yes, cover bands.
Okay.
Yeah, cover
So
bands, and we would perform for the Filipino community, all occasions. Name it, all the saints. We played for that feast day over there. But it was like, continuous. I was working around
mm,
like 6 days a week, just
Because
playing for all these occasions.
you love the music. That's what I heard about the musicians. They say that if you're a musician, it's do it because you love it because it's not necessarily going to pay. But if I guess if you get to the top tier, maybe I assume you're one of the top tier, then that's when it starts making some money.
Thank you very much for saying that. Um, I think more than anything, it affects all musicians who have music as a passion, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of like in your system. You just can't get
it's like
performed. You
it's like
write
a virus in your
songs,
system.
and if you can't write songs, right? And it's just you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it at all. It's just like, and some creative force kind of like catches hold of you, and you just need to create.
Yeah.
So
Why did you? How
yeah,
long were you in the U.S. then? You were like there for
10
5 years, 10 years,
years, 10
10 years.
years, yeah.
Why'd you decide to move back? If you were there for 10 years, I assume you had a comfortable life there. You were able to play your music.
Yes.
You get the best of both worlds. You had the American dream salary and your nightlife musician life. So why move back?
I wanted to say, I didn't want to be 80 years old and say I didn't uh, try to pursue this thing that I loved. I didn't want to say, oh, I just gave it up. I gave up on the dream. I wanted to say, let me give it one more go.
Right.
One more go, one more night. So I was married at that time, and so my ex-husband agreed with me that we would come back, relocate here, and decide to start all over again, which I
Was
did.
he was he
Which I
Filipino?
did.
Was he
No, no, he was
okay?
American. Yeah.
Maybe, but must have been a culture shock all around for him.
Well, you
I imagine.
integrate him into certain things surrounding him with your family, your culture. So he wasn't really that shocked. Not really. And he is a very, how do you say, adaptive type of person. So,
Mhm.
actually his
Oh,
wife right now is also a Filipina. So,
and just for the other people hearing, Mr. Gabby is also you were a member of Rage Band. How did you hear about Gabby?
yes. Oh, gosh.
Gosh, right?
CUNY.
Mr. Gabby.
How did we hear?
CUNY.
Uni?
CUNY and we had a common friend, a guitar player, Mike.
Uh-huh.
And in that time, I think that was before Christmas. You were
Uh-huh.
looking for a singer, and
Right.
then Mike messaged me, and then I messaged CUNY, and then
So
Okay.
oh no, I
Yeah.
think
CUNY is CUNY Alcantara.
our
Yeah.
drummer, the drummer of Rage.
Yeah, the drummer.
But before that, we actually rehearsed in your in Icon Music Studios.
Ah, okay.
Rehearsed. That was
With Jim's?
before.
Is that the
Yeah,
one?
with James. Yeah,
Ah, Jim
James.
Salcedo. Okay.
Yes, and then After
Name
that,
dropping, name dropping,
Oh,
left and right.
after that, after that,
sorry.
CUNY messaged me,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
that's and then I told Marissa during that rehearsal. I told Marissa about me when I was still in Bacolod, that I've been a fan, and who would have thought I'd be singing with the Marissa and Rage.
Well, see, the thing is this, right? So rage is RAGE, and I always say that I am the age in rage. See, because I'm like the now I'm the oldest person in that band.
But not obviously. I mean, you have to say it. You have to tell people. You have to say that, otherwise they wouldn't know. So,
What,
does
what do
it
you
mean,
mean?
like me, if you didn't tell them that, they wouldn't know that you're the obvious member of the band?
Ah, okay, okay. Thank you.
This,
No, because I've been.
especially if you're the lead singer, right? I mean, I'm sure you keep yourself fit and healthy looking and trimmed so you can
And she still rocks the stage.
and rocking the stage.
You wouldn't believe
And
her energy.
yeah, I
Thank
can see
you,
it right now.
Gabby.
You're very lively and vivacious.
Vibration.
Vivacious.
Oh, vivacious. I'm sorry. I say it as I read it.
B.
I say it as I read it.
Vivacious.
Vivacious.
Thank you.
I've been mispronouncing it all these years.
Thank you.
No, I want to ask
Well,
Marissa now that she now that she has a, for all those who do not know, Marissa has a music school. It's called
And a
Icon
studio.
Music Studio and
Just a
Music
studio.
School,
yes.
and it's been around for how many years?
Yes.
How many years,
11
Marissa?
years.
So how have you adjusted to
11.
the
11.
how is your business adjusted to the COVID,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
ECQ?
We well, what I am do well, we've had to stop, right? It stopped on my birthday. I had to close down, shut down, March 15. That was the eve of the lockdown, right? And so from then until now, I haven't been there. And the studio is temporarily closed because we had to follow the guidelines for GCQ, right? Which means that persons who are below 21 and over 60 are not allowed to go out. What else? That you cannot teach face to face, that you can't have mass gatherings, your distance. It's not a big studio. It's a small studio, comfortable enough to fit a gigging band, a working band.
I
I
heard that.
noticed that like there are dance instructors who do their lessons online. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't do that, like an
Um,
online class?
First of all, we were challenged because I have teachers who teach at the studio, right? And I don't do all the teaching myself. We have, of course, that CUNY is our drum teacher, and then we
Mm.
have other teachers who teach at the studio. And a majority of the other teachers are like in their senior year at UP or UST, and see the technology or the strength of their internet connectivity is usually they just use data. So
Mhm.
we've been going through testing, and it's not really stable. It hasn't been stable, but this last week we were able to find a good medium, and so we're going to be rolling out our online classes hopefully by June 16, 17.
What's the name of your studio? Your music studio? People
It's
wanted to
called,
look it up.
yeah, Icon Music Studios, and the physical address is on Tomas Moroto, corner Roses Avenue.
Ay,
Uh,
Makati.
no,
No,
Quezon City.
Where's Tomas Morato?
Tomas
Tomas
Moroto
Morato,
is
near Timog, near Timog.
it's like the
Ah,
restaurant
yes, yes.
row,
Yes,
Yes, the
yes.
restaurant row. Oh, you're
Yeah,
there. Okay.
yeah. We're in the basement of a building called Thompson Square.
Next time I'm there, we'll check it out. Oh
Yes,
well, it's
please
closed,
do.
but it's closed right now. I mean, when it
Yeah, it's
opens.
yeah, when it opens. When you can actually visit the Facebook page, and we have pictures of people who have rehearsed there. And also our summer program, which unfortunately we were not able to put up this year. So the Icon Kids program is a summer program for kids who are starting, beginners mostly, learn lessons. We have lessons, and then we combine them as bands. These kids as bands, and then this is their first experience to play in a band. Like, they could be 7 years old, 8 years old, 5 years old, but they still get a chance to play as a group and experience music together.
Are you also a producer
So
then? Are you
that's
also
one of our
music?
that's our program.
Are you also a music producer then? Do you help them
I
get
guess you
together
could
and
say
sign
that.
them up and release an album?
I don't sign them up. That's managing. Yeah, I don't sign them up. We're not in that part yet.
And what's good about
We're not in that part
their
yet of
summer the kids
Icon.
summer program is they teach kids, and they have this recital. You call it recital, is that correct?
Yes,
And then
yes, it's the
they
Icon
perform.
Kids.
Y- Yes, Marissa, go ahead.
Yes, we perform. This is their introduction to a live performance, performing in front of a live audience, either as a soloist, as a duo, trio, quartet, or as a full band. So it's really fun because these kids who started with us. We first implemented this program in 2012, and the majority of the kids who started in 2012, by the time they graduate their high school years, they eventually start playing in bands in their college years. So they have that experience behind them and know how it is to, like, form a band, the technical aspects, stuff like that.
What's more lucrative? Because I assume you play multiple instruments as well, Miss Marissa. Is that
Not
true?
really multiple, no, just keyboard, and I sing and I write.
Okay, a couple
Yeah,
of instruments.
yeah, couple.
So, I've seen
I'm not Michael
some.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson
Yeah,
sounds
go.
like he was a kid in the group.
Yes, he was. He started.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead to
So,
your
so
question.
if you can play the keyboard, because I've seen some groups, like some performances, it's one or two people, one person the keyboard or guitar, the other person singing, or by himself, and then you have this other ensemble group. Uh, I don't know what the reasoning is behind one or the other, which is better, one or the other. Some of the things I can see is like, if you're by yourself, certainly then you don't. All the proceeds go to you, or divided by two, right?
So
But
you're
other than
talking business
yes, I'm talking business. Like, what's
wise
the?
then?
Why do some people
Are
go
you
like?
talking
Why
business
do some?
wise?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
all. Because I also hear like when you're in a group, then you have other people watching your back, helping you out, and if you're in the road, it's less lonely or less makes you less insane, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do night after night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like, because you could sounds like you could do solo or duo versus like
Personally,
8 or 10 people.
personally, I think that it depends on the person and the personality of the person. Not everybody is made out to be a soloist. You see, not everybody is cut out to be a soloist. Some people thrive in a group setting, right? I've tried both, and I think I enjoy the interaction and the camaraderie of being in a band and moving together towards the same goal, right? And
Right.
seeing the reaction. I think the atmosphere, um, it's different. It's like a band of brothers,
Right.
right?
Actually,
So,
that's the same answer, Mr. Perlin. He's the lead singer for
mm-hmm.
Simpatico.ph.
Yeah.
Little plug there. So he said he likes being in a group because his answer was if you're on the road, it's maddening to be by yourself. But at least you're a bunch of guys, so you're all like having fun. It's fun. It becomes fun. That was his answer.
I think responsibility wise and pressure wise, it's a shared pressure if you are in a team. It's more of being in a team sport. Why do people want to be like in a like a solo athlete, like a tennis player, versus somebody who is, part of a basketball team?
Gotcha,
You know?
gotcha. Some people like team sports, some like single sports. I
That's
guess. And
right.
some like doubles too.
That's right. Duos, duets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who when you've been playing all these years? So how do you get gigs? Do you have a manager who finds those gigs? Do people contact you directly? How do they
People
find
contact,
you?
yeah, people contact me directly. Usually these are people who are experienced homecomings, again, throwbacks,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because that's my genre. And that's my genre. I mean, we have to be real, right? We only do 80s music. We don't do current music. So it's more of like a
And
niche.
Marissa, do you miss doing those gigs? Do you miss doing those gigs, especially now that we're experiencing COVID?
I have my own little concert here at home. I mean, like, this is like the thing that's making me survive. I think is, again, all throughout your rough times in life. Well, personally for me, all the rough times that I've been through, this is always my fallback music. It's either I write, which I have uh, written some songs. It's not really uh, produced to be, for the public just yet, but that's the way, your brain works. You That's how
You
I
have to
cope.
create.
Yeah,
I
I
think
have to create. That's how I cope. Yeah.
I think singers, I think the creators, like singers, writers, they have to create. I think even if no one paid them, maybe I shouldn't say this, but even if no one paid them, they probably would still create it because that's their joy. Of course, if they get paid for it, even better, right?
So,
I you know
yeah, go ahead.
I've been singing. I've been singing since I was 3 years old. I mean, always like in front of a crowd, singing, entertaining people, and fortunately, there are a lot of people who are blessed that way. And in my experience, it was kind of like second nature, right? But what I enjoy most is writing, creating. That's another kind of enjoyment when you see people's reaction to your performance. That's another. But what I enjoy most is creating music, creating songs, or even just verses when I write. And now I enjoy teaching, teaching other people based on what I've culled my experience from, all these years, and passing it on to the new generation. That they're not really aware. Oh, so that's how it's done. And I'm like, yeah, that's in my experience. I always, refer to my experience because I
Have you
didn't
had a
go to music school or anything like that. I mean, it's not I didn't go to like
uh,
UP Conservatory of Music like that. It's just all self-taught.
to that point, yes, a lot of musicians I know did not take up music. Similarly, a lot, it seems like it's really more interested than anything. Well, I'm sure there's some musicians who did take up music, but I
Yes,
think,
and I recommend it. Like, they at least like during your off time, or
yes,
during a lull. Let's say you're in between jobs, or like during the summers. I really recommend, because it opens up a part of your brain that you're really not aware of.
I meant music as a
You
course,
know, music,
but yes,
yeah, to learn an instrument,
yes,
learn how to
yes.
sing, expand your craft. I think it just opens up a certain part of you, although you may not be a musician, or that's not your goal, but it's something that, as a creative person, it just unlocks a key. It's a key that
I,
unlocks a door.
I agree. I
There you
think
go.
everyone should learn at least one instrument
Mm-hmm.
or to sing.
Well,
I think that makes you a better person.
there was
Just
a
study.
time. Yeah, there was a time, in see, nowadays I feel that there are a lot of other how do you say, things that take you away, distractions. That's the word. There are a lot of other distractions, but there was a time, like in our culture, where it was mandatory
Isn't it?
to
It's not
learn.
anymore. It's not
Not
required in school anymore.
no,
I
because
was I, me and my siblings, we actually
oh God,
we had piano lessons.
mm,
We had a teacher who would come to the house, and that would be on weekends. And I totally regret it because back
You
then,
regret it.
yeah, because when I became a full-time singer,
mm-hmm,
I realized I could have used that to hone my talent and be a better singer. And I was
mm-hmm.
thinking I could sing, I could write. Well, I write songs, but I could not write my own. I mean,
Melody.
I had the lyrics, but not the music.
Ah,
So back then, during weekends, my teacher would come, and then I would
mm-hmm.
tell my teacher, "Can I just go to the toilet?" And then I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back to the piano, and
Yeah,
my teacher would see me watching cartoons on a weekend. And yeah, we did that all
yeah,
siblings, and too bad.
You know, that's
yeah.
that's kind of like the pro and cons. Like if you start them earlier, they learn earlier. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the con of that is like sometimes they don't appreciate it. They don't know what they could be getting, and I don't know. It's a balancing act.
I
The
think
younger, the better.
in my experience, as owner of the school, there's two things, right? It's either the children exhibit an innate talent, which the parents would like to support, right? That's one. Number two is they don't want to be there. They want to be doing something else, but they're forced to be there or they have to be there, right? So either way, it's beneficial for the child because they get exposed to a certain atmosphere, right? It may not register at that particular point because, of course, they're children, right? But in the future, they will have a chance to look back on that experience and probably pursue, you know, on their own, come back to music.
And to your point and Gabby's point, you know, Gabby, even though you did not appreciate the music lessons as well as you should have,
Right.
and applied as well as you should have, you ended up the lead singer with Civil Eyes, little shameless plug
Right.
again. So it worked out.
Yeah,
See,
it
and
worked
then
out
now you're
because
singing with the Rage Band.
I think it worked out because music is in his system, right? It's
Yeah,
it's a love, a passion. That Gabby is really more of a performer and singer because he sings at the drop of a hat. You ask him, okay, Gab, can you sing here? And he'll say right away, he'll say yes without any hesitation, right? And through all of these experiences, he's a willing participant in that experience. He's developed his self-confidence, he's developed his drive, and he can speak to people, communicate better, approach people without fear. So these are the hidden.
Coming from Marisa, that's a big thing.
from of Rage
Yeah,
Band,
if yeah, wow,
owner of
my
Rage Band.
idol.
It's
Oh
essentially it's Rage
God.
Band. It's Rage Band saying it, Gabby. Rage Band itself.
Wow. I'm not. I don't hold the copyright for it. I mean, like I don't really own that title Rage
But
Band.
you are technically Rage Band, right? If I say Rage Band and Marissa, they're kind of like equivalent.
Uh,
Marissa is Rage
A
Band.
little bit. A little bit.
well,
A
that's
little bit.
for some people. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Uh,
that. Right? Synonymous, you mean synonymous?
Yeah.
My name is synonymous with the band, but
No, no, not synonymous. You are Rage Band.
no, because we are a band.
Ah,
You
okay.
see, we are a band. So who are in this band? Visible in memory, me, Marissa Bunag, David Lava, and Juan Miguel Salvador. That is the
Okay.
Rage Band
Three
of
of
the
you are
eight
Rage Band.
of the 80s that people remember. The only reason why I'm coming back into people's consciousness right now is because we restarted the band Regeneration, and as I said, I'm the oldest and most visible person in their memory that they can look back the age in rage. See, that's why.
Agent.
But I cannot lay claim. I cannot lay claim to being rage band. It takes a team to be
I'll
a
just take that.
band.
I'll just take that as a yes. Then. Now, or now, how has this COVID affected you? So now there are no shows, right? No bands,
Yeah.
no
Well,
performances,
it's
nothing.
affected me in two ways because Icon Music Studios is a school, like I said, and it's
Yes.
also a rehearsal studio for bands, which was really why it was created. Right, it's basically a rehearsal studio, and then in after 4 years after it was created, we started offering lessons. Okay, so it was mainly created as a rehearsal studio for bands to have a safe place to rehearse, a place where you can park your car in a safe spot where you're not gonna be worried that your side mirrors are gonna be stolen or your
Mhm.
hubcaps are gonna be stolen. It's a very safe, clean, and very homely place. A
And I
place where
and
you
I,
can
I
just
can attest to that hominess,
homeliness.
hominess.
Okay.
The band. I miss rehearsing in that studio. I miss what happens after rehearsal, the food,
What? Of
Yeah,
course.
the
because we sometimes have
pizza,
like parties.
the
Yeah, pizza
chat.
parties.
So
Yeah.
I really miss that.
Yeah, a lot of people have been contacting me and saying that when is your studio opening? We really miss. It's not only just professional musicians. Like uh, Magnus Haven rehearses there. Um
Name dropping.
uh,
Name.
well, these are
No, you should. You should. You should. You should.
and the
So,
boyfriends, the boyfriends rehearse there.
so
I mean,
popular
I
it is.
if
just
when you go to our page, you'll see the people who have rehearsed. But the thing is because I want to start it at the grassroots level when they're still children. So as early as grade school, from the schools around the area, they look for a place to rehearse. They come to Icon and everything's there for them, and that's where they have their bonding time. See, and it's a safe place because their parents, and thank God for that, they have a place where they know, they see that there's a
It's safe.
security. That's safe. It's safe for them.
Yes.
Of course, as a parent, that's what you worry about.
also
So
Marissa.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. So I lost on both fronts, on the rehearsal studio side and on the music lesson
The
side.
school.
To sum up, yeah.
So how do you rise from this,
The
Marissa? And
ashes.
I would also ask what would be your advice to, because our industry is really you know uh, affected by this
Yeah.
crisis.
Well,
Oh,
Oh,
you're cut off. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Hi, Miss
hello.
Marissa.
Where have you
hi.
been?
Oh, there you go. Yay!
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a while.
So
Yeah.
sorry we got cut off there a bit, but I'm glad you got back. A couple questions. I had a couple questions. I forgot where we were earlier, but I have a couple questions. One is, do you do this full time, or
Yes.
you do it full time now?
I
That's
manage
good.
the studio. I manage the studio, and I'm also the admin, and I teach voice. And then on those occasions where we get invited, the band gets invited to perform, then um, I do that as well.
And my other question is, because I've heard one of our sister businesses is Blue Gardens. Shameless
Blue
plug again.
Gardens.
Yes.
That's in
Oh, you've heard of them?
Commonwealth. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Our
in
the
Samonte.
tech, yes, the Technomancer
Ah,
office is right next to it, walking distance.
you know why?
So,
Because my son went to see Montessori.
my son too
Oh,
used to.
see, there you go. We have something
Small
in
world,
common.
small
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
So if you're ever there, please drop by our office at Technomancer.
sure.
But anyway, I heard in Blue Gardens they're planning to open to events on July.
Mm. Oh, okay.
So if they're gonna have events in July, like I don't know what events, wedding I assume,
Yeah.
unless things change. then theoretically, then you could also probably have concerts again, right?
That's right. Of course, we're always open to
So,
performing, especially with, like these special niche groups like the homecoming people, weddings.
You know
In
what? Marissa, I think
Yeah,
after when there's already a vaccine for COVID, I
right.
think people will have more. We will have more shows because
Yeah.
people are hungry for will be hungry for shows.
Let's face it, we are all social creatures.
Yes,
We're
yes.
made to be social creatures, and that's why we have these things that technology gives us, like Zoom and all these other meeting applications. And we just have this innate need to reach out and speak and entertain, make other people happy. And so that's why I think that after we are all free to go back to the normal, then this is going to be one of the most welcome uh,
Resurgence of
resurgence. That's right, the good word.
entertainment
yeah,
industry.
Yeah, a
I
good
agree.
word.
That's why even though I'm painfully shy, I like doing these video meetings because it helps fulfill my need for human contact.
Right, right. And I am shy as well.
How about you, Gabby? Are you shy too?
Very shy.
See, so we do this despite our shyness, our extreme shyness. So
Yeah.
Marissa, if on July 1, they decided, okay, no more quarantine, you can open your music school.
Yes.
Would you? Would
Yes,
you?
of course.
Would you and would your people go? Would your staff also go to work?
There is. I am the staff.
Your
I
your other staff.
I hold the staff. Well, see, the only reason why we are not up in operations right now is because of the quarantine guidelines. So I'm just following what the government ordered, right?
Okay.
So I that's the only reason why we're not in operations right now. So,
I
but if they slow it, I mean, if they lift certain restrictions, then of course, you know, come
I
home, come back home. Yeah.
I don't know if that's universal because for example another company Kimbell has the people wanted to go back to work because of course no work no pay because it's they sell bags in the department store.
Right.
So when they reopened, someone tested in that community tested positive for COVID. So suddenly everyone became like, oh no, and then they decided to all then they all got freaked out and paranoid that they don't want to go back to work
I
again.
think the people like that's going to be especially true with the parents. I think on that in that lesson side, the lesson side of Icon Music Studios. So because of course the parents' main concern is for their children to keep them safe, and so in that aspect, I think that maybe we can continue more with the online lessons, right? But of course, when events open up once again, and we can, you know, then the rehearsal studio will open. And I don't want to be. I just want to take a day, each day as it comes, and not expect, because it's this is a hard thing that we're battling, and it's worldwide. And although I'm suffering, I'm not the only one suffering. All Many people all over the world are suffering. So, you know, I just trust that things are being done to curb this disease or this virus. And then when everything is free again, then business continues as normal.
Well, I guess you, and the nice thing about our day and age right now is like we can have Zoom meetings right now,
Yeah.
and reach out to each other. And then you have YouTube right now, and then, I see all your posts from 10, 20 years ago. It's all cool. They can watch anytime. I'm a bit older, so I'm telling my colleagues in the office that I used to wait in the radio, wait for hours for my favorite song to play, and then
Yeah.
when it played, I would record it in this
We're
cassette.
at tape.
I
Cassette
tape
tape.
it,
Yeah.
See,
and now they
yeah.
can click it on YouTube. Yeah.
Right. I'm going back to keep myself, because I'm an artist, I try to keep myself motivated to be creative, right? So now I'm going back to and listening to the older songs of my favorite idols and artists as well, and try to get some inspiration from their words and music as well. So that's what keeps me up, and that's what motivates me. It makes me happy. So now I'm listening to Genesis, and I'm a big Genesis fan. And it just, I in the morning I listen to them when I get up. Listen to their songs, and then kind of like try to get the vibe or analyze, how they created the songs, and then I dig deeper, research into their history, and it's fun because with my experience as a band, I share some of their experiences as a band. So it's kind of like, you don't get depressed, that you're,
Right.
because it's, you know that you share these experiences with someone from the, that you look up
Who?
to.
There, we hear you.
I looked
Okay,
funny for a second.
there we go. So
I
who? Yes.
no, I wanted to because you were asking me what's the next step, right? How am I going to
Well,
survive this
yes, that was
experience?
Gabby's question.
Right. So the thing is that we're moving forward with launching, hopefully, the online experience for our students. But the thing is, it's, like today we've been having like intermittent connection. So it's kind of like hard. That's another challenge that we have to. And with all the other schools going to provide, is my question is the Philippine bandwidth enough to be able to tackle everybody who's going to try to do this, right?
Honestly, I think it is,
It is.
because the right now everyone is working from home and watching Netflix and frankly working from home.
Uh-huh.
And for the most part, it seems to be working. It's a little bit choppy sometimes, but for the most part, Gabby's able to work from home, aren't you, Gabby?
Yeah.
I'm able to work from home. I'm able to do podcasts. There's certain areas which are not as lucky, I guess. Like yours is a little spotty, but
Right.
it's still good enough that we're able to have this conversation. So, and this, I think,
Right.
this is the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Once
Uh,
once once people start going to work,
this.
it'll get better.
Oh yeah. I don't know why it says my internet connection is unstable once again.
Okay.
Well,
Anyway,
we should end. Oh wait, my last question. So who
Yeah.
maintains your YouTube accounts and Facebook? Is it you?
Me.
Ah, very
I
good, very
told
good.
you I am the staff.
You are the rage band. You're you are when
I am
someone
the,
sends a Facebook message to Rage Band says, "Hello Rage Band, can you help me?" And then you
that's
reply,
me.
"Yes. How
Yes,
can I
I
help
can.
you?"
How
See,
can I help?
see,
How do
she
you
is the
know
Rage
that?
Band.
That's true. Well, the thing is, I am the archivist. I'm the librarian. I have all the pictures. I have like the videotapes in
Yeah. Yes.
Betamax,
Yes.
and so yeah,
You are the dream group mate.
the dream group mate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're the group mate I would like in any project.
Yes. Well, hire me then.
I could I would we wouldn't be able to afford your rates.
Oh, how do you know? Have you asked?
I
No.
am sure it's Rage Band, Rage Band.
Anyway,
Well,
that's
on
that's a
that,
misconception, James, because a lot of people are saying that, saying, "Oh, I'm sure that we can't afford you kasi rage band na kayo eh. You must charge high." But I don't want that to be the idea or I don't want people thinking about that. We are very affordable. We have affordable rates, and one that you can live with in your event, for your event.
sige.
No,
If
that's true.
we have an office party, if that ever happens,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'll inquire,
Yeah.
and let's see if I don't have a.
believe me, it's worth it. Believe me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
The thing
hope it
is,
opens again.
it's me too. Of course. No, what I'm saying is because a lot of people see that's another thing that we can discuss. Is these bands sometimes people don't go to you directly and they go through a third party, and then that third party charges on top of that, and then word goes out that oh, you can't be, we can't afford you because you're so expensive, but because so and so said this is your rate. And I said, well, did you come to me and ask me? No.
Right.
See, it's always like the middleman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone asked if I ordered food.
Well, I did.
No, 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 no. The Grab. But again, when this opens, then we'll start looking again. I actually don't know if we'll have a office party even this year. I don't know. Like for example, I asked my office mates if they wanted to go to like a buffet, a restaurant.
Right.
If things were to open, almost all of them said no, they wouldn't go. I don't know if they'll change their mind at the end of the year. I'm hoping they will.
It's a good thing that you already know that you can afford it. Because a lot of companies are going to be on the wait and see kind of trend, because you never know about a resurgence. But I mean, I'm glad that you're very positive and thinking about
Well, all
the
I'm
future
thinking
this
is
way.
it'll return to normal. It has to. This is not. No matter it'll have to return to normal. It's going to return to normal. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And a matter of if
Yeah.
we can survive till then. I hope we can. I hope we all can. But it will.
Yeah, listen to your favorite band and try to
Rage,
immerse
Believe
yourself in
Me,
music.
and Shy Eyes. And, I'll check them out after this.
Thank you very
And
much.
I can see now why Rage Band is succeeding all these years. I see a lot of the positivity and fire inside of you. No, I can
wow.
see it. You're very
Thank
positive, and you're very friendly. You're very amiable. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Amiable.
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 That was close.
Vivacious. How about vivacious?
Vivacious.
Vivacious.
And you have panache. Panache, is that correct?
Panache. Wow, let's get a thesaurus out. Why don't we? Let's do that.
So I can see why it's rages around all these years. I think you're just very I can see right away you have a go-getter attitude.
Well, see,
and
that's basically my belief is like, yes, I can. Yes, you can. Yes, you
Yes.
can. And that's what we preach at Icon Music.
That's icon. Yes,
That's
you
icon.
can.
Yes,
You
you,
are-
can.
and you
Yeah.
practice what you preach, and you're proof of what you prove your
Well,
words.
we try to be resilient. We try to teach the kids about resilience, about getting up after a fall.
Okay.
Like, right, go.
And we're gonna plug in your songs here. Please do not file a DMCA request against us, just so, as a background music. So yeah, please don't get this YouTube post kicked off YouTube for copyright infringement.
No,
We're just
I don't
putting it
think
in
so.
just to tease
As
the
a-
audience about your songs.
Right, thank you. So I just wanted to find out if this is about Icon or is this about Rage Band?
I thought it was about Rage Band.
Rage Band.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Then how
And
I
iconic, I guess.
What is iconic? That's the
I mean icon, an icon.
Icon.
I'm sorry, I
James
mispronounce
Kim.
things all the time.
We have been talking for an hour.
You are iconic. You are iconic, right? Up naputo. Oh, she got cut off again.
Okay.
Just as well. I sang. I didn't get that. You should have recorded when you said, "Did you miss me?" It sounds like a movie line.
Did you miss me?
So, before we get cut off again, let's cut each other off right now and say goodbye and thank you for joining us. No, we're not. We're
I feel rejected right
no,
now.
no.
Just when I joined again. Let's
No.
all cut ourselves off from each
No,
other.
No,
Babe,
I am amazed with Zoom because Skype, Messenger, Hangouts have been around for years, and then because of this COVID, suddenly people need to use messaging apps, and Zoom
Right.
has taken over. Zoom has overtaken the ones who have been long established. So I guess the point is, if you have a better product, it will sell.
That's right. Yeah. And all the others are just catching up.
Right. And the reason why you guys are still around again is because you are go 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 attitude. You're posting your songs. You're keeping the brand alive. You're playing in gigs.
Are the
You have time
age
to
in
you have
rage.
time to teach and work. I'm sorry.
Yes. That's my, I think it's time to pass on to the next
This
generation.
your legacy.
Yeah. It's part of my
No,
legacy, I guess.
no, we're all gonna live forever. So,
Remember my name.
thank you so much, and thanks,
It's,
Gabby, for arranging this. Yes.
thank
Yeah.
you, Gabby, my friend. Gabby, my
So,
friend.
Marissa, why don't you invite our millions of
Tens
subscribers,
are
listeners, to your
ones of
invite them
subscribers.
to your social media pages and for
We'll post them.
updates.
We'll post them in the bottom as well. But
Hmm.
might be good to mention it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so um, if you are looking for a place to rehearse or to enroll your kids for music lessons, please visit Icon Music Studios on Facebook. We also have a website, www.iconmusicstudios.com. And for those of the same generation and who want to, you can look for Rage on YouTube and Rage on. I don't think we have a page. I don't think we made a page, but there is a page on Facebook. Rage Generation page. Through it. Hindi sila, batiin natin yung ating mga kakampo. Si Gino Cruz, who
Gino
is
Cruz,
an arranger, Nel Pilar, yeah, Jun Tamayo, who's doing our guitar today now, si Jay De La Cruz, our bassist, Cuny Alcantara, our drummer, of course, Gab, and myself. We are the working group of Rage Band.
I was actually going to
Yay.
go to one of your shows, except this stupid COVID hit us. And when this is over, I'll go.
Sure, have fun. Do you know the
Okay.
dance? You got to learn eight.
Okay, so thank you, and I'll tell you after this podcast is over. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Marissa. Bye bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let me stop
Thank you. It's
recording
fun,
now,
guys.
and I'll
Thank
tell
you very much.